coming back to this XE Falcon, you're right, the car itself has been an 8-year build of Craig Piergross, and running a 6-litre or close enough to a 6-litre engine under it. It's actually got the old Ford 9-inch diff out of Rick Newman's AU Falcon from improved production from years gone by. So Rick last year was actually going to get that car back into circulation. I think now he's got an excuse to tell everybody why he can't get it out of the shed anymore.
Well, Rick Newman in sports sedans now and doing a tremendous job, was on the front row of the grid in the sports sedan race.
Right,
Have a look at that front-on shot. Fankhauser has now chosen to come to the lane, or has been directed to the lane, so that's not ideal.
I'm just looking to see if Milano's been sent the same way, but it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like he's going to be off the back. And the men's front row is going to be Jared Tonks and Ian McLennan, a pair of Holdens. And away we go.
Have a look at the E30 BMW get up the inside there as the Monaro gets through. Have a look at Troy Lloyd. He's going to go to the dirty stuff.
4 wide.
On the inside. We're going to go 5 wide. It looks up into turn 1 there for improved production race number 1, but it is going to be 2 Monaros, or is it going to be? There's Wright in the mix there. Troy Lloyd's looking up the inside there as well, so got some work to do for Troy, but he's certainly got his race back underway, better than what the qualifying session was for the improved production cars. There's the long shot on our live stream, encapsulating the field as they come through turns 3 and head up to 4. Have a look at this field streaking away out in front in that Monaro.
That is Adam Poole from South Australia. Got across the border on Thursday night. He's had a long, long wait to try and get across that border, and he leads Ian McLennan. Monaro's 1 and 2. Then it's Paul Cruz in the Nissan in 3rd place with Jared Thompson. Ash Wright's had a pretty good start. Have a look at Troy Lloyd. He's up to about 7th place already, having started 15th.
Is he getting through? Is that Coxie there that he's
Correct.
getting through on? Yep, in the DLL photography car. Watch the JRE power get put to the ground there by Troy Lloyd. A couple of boys from rural Victoria get together and build a VN race car with a GM power plant under the bonnet, and they're pretty serious about it. There's the Falcon we were casting our attention to at the start of this race. Danny Timewell, welcome to Improved Production Racing. Had a great time in sports sedans, won the floor pan championship back in 2018-19, and now into improved production. Let's see what he can do. There's our Falcon we're watching, that dark blue car there, and here comes Damien Milano lighting up the front straight. Where does that put Milano? Just outside the 10 at the moment.
Yeah, so currently sitting, what's he on here, about 12th or 13th at the moment, still carving his way through the field, just tucked in behind Graham McPherson, another one of the rurals from up in Bendigo. New livery on the car this weekend, a bit of a tribute to the HDT and the Holden Young Line livery, and he only had that finished on Thursday. He's going to be the next victim for Damien Milano. There he goes through on the inside at turn 5. Ash Wright's now found his way past Paul Cruz as well as the Holdens 1, 2 and 3 here at the home of horsepower. Always seems to be the Holden V8 power plants that find their way toward the front of the field. Element flying Ford flag out in front of Craig Piergross in the XE. And Ash Wright now giving a big hurry up to Ian McLennan as they head into the last proper couple of corners here at Sandown International Motor Raceway.
Here's a ripping battle out in front. The Brown Davis car. They're going to go side by side. This is going to be an out-and-out drag race. In fact, whoever wins this braking duel, I would suggest is going to beat the other guy in the championship. And there it is. I've thrown it on the line, haven't I? Right in the Brown Davis car gets through on Ian McLennan. And that was nothing short of a horsepower race. And here comes the car with the horsepower. Have a look at Troy Lloyd. Made his way into 6th place out of 15. What a move by Troy. Here comes Damien Milano, also in the club sport. Down the inside of 4. There we go. Oh, a little bit tight. Used a fair bit of curve there on the inside, but he should have the traction out of turn 4. It should beat the Falcon easily up the back straight. Craig Piergross on debut here. Have a look at this. This is great. This is a horsepower race. This will see what is underneath the bonnet of that Falcon. Milano, renowned for horsepower, can't get through. One of the few times that Milano hasn't been able to get through on a fellow contender. And I like the fact that this Falcon doesn't have a rear wing on it. It's got a front air dam to keep the front of the car down. A rear wing's just drag. Have a look at that. That just looks like someone's going to come and pick you up and take you out for dinner with mum and dad, but with 700 horsepower between your legs. Milano trying everything. The championship winner from a few years ago. Of course, we're missing Luke Gretsch-Gumbo, who was here and is not taking part in this race.
Yeah, he was the man that we had to recover in the qualifying session earlier this morning with the front brakes locking on the main straight. So he was scheduled to start rear of the grid, but I haven't seen that car take to the track. So maybe there's still been a few dramas, but he is still carrying the number 1 as the reigning State Series Club champion. But he has not had a kind weekend so far. Good thing is at least the sun's out now, Darren. We had a rain shower earlier on this morning. I was a bit worried that we were going to have some breezy, slippery conditions. Like there's a bit of slip sliding going on here between Milano and the 43 belonging to Matty Logan. Oh, and we've got a slow car up the back. That's Cam McKinnon. Sadly, that's the man who owns the 888 Home Loans entity, and that EA Falcon looks like it's going a little bit slower than what it should be.
What a shame, but great to see him throw his corporate support behind this championship as our race leaders just go storming through there. Cruz goes 2 wheels to the dirt, and that would be a rough old ride for Paul Cruz, but he is starting to swing into his own as we see the little Nissan start to come up onto the back of McLennan in the Pro Cut car. Beautiful looking Monaro. In front of him, the VN from Shep City Bearings of Troy Lloyd, doing a ripping job. And out in front of him is Ash Wright. I think I was calling him Dave Wright before. Ash Wright.
There's Ash Wright.
Out in front in the number 76 for Brown Davis Engineering.
Here goes Robert Broad on the inside of Jared Tonks. The Tonks just starting to slip back a little bit here. Try and hold this one around the outside. And the little BMW is going to have the line here. And through goes Rob Braun. Wily old veteran Rob Braun. He's like the uncle that you just love to have a good old chat with. He's always good for a chat. He mentioned to me after Island Magic that he didn't put enough fuel in the car to make the checkered flag. That I said to him, you remember telling me a little while ago in the paddock you were one of the laziest guys in the paddock, and he said, I still am. So
is that Graham McPherson?
That is Graham McPherson on the inside of the back straight.
Ah, that's a shame. The Bendigo local over to the side of the track there engineered the car to victory. One of the first of the V8s to win in a championship was looked after by that man there that's languishing on the side of the track all those years ago.
Big lock-up
Tony,
and
he's now on the side of the track there, so that's tough. Darren Lehman there in the 26.
And he's going to fly the Bendigo flag now. Kate Lehman, the only one still from up that way. Dave Cotton a bit further up the field. He's tucked in behind the 48. Douglas Parade Motors car of Brad Wyatt, the ex-Commodore. Ahead of them, Danny Timewell, as you said, stepping up from Sports Sedans. And Danny Timewell's the only car that's actually running the new 9.5-inch rim and the 265 wide tyres this weekend. So that's the new change for IP this year, allows the 9.5-inch rim, and the wider tyres go with it. Most of the bigger cars are still on the 255 and the 9-inch rim.
The 75, the great hope for Mazda enthusiasts in a category that for so many years was dominated by rotaries, is Mr. Opie, and he runs the Bendigo Mazda. So there's a bit of a trend coming down the Calder Highway, isn't there, from Bendigo teams in improved production?
It is.
It's one of the Henleys in the one of the sole surviving RX-7s that was such a winning shape of car in this category for 20 years.
Malcolm Henley, the only one still flying the RX-7 flag out there. The other RX-8 belonging to Malcolm Henley. And then one on screen here with Richard Opie. And he's tucked in behind Marco Timperio here in the EA Falcon. Here we
Great
go.
to have 888 Home Loans on board with this class. It really does get lots of eyes, and we'll see on the live streaming there'll be a lot of people. I'm sure all of the IP guys from Western Australia, South Australia, New South Wales and Queensland will be watching very closely here. And they'll be certainly watching the Damien Milano car and seeing how that's coming through the field. Just sort of looking for where Fankhauser has not rejoined, has come to the pit lane and has not taken the start of the race. I can only sort of, I guess, offer up as an explanation in that Milano and Fankhauser didn't make it out with the field out of the marshalling. Now there is Fankhauser in the back of shot, and we're on the last lap for this race.
Yeah, there he is. He's making his way down the main straight now. This man dominated. He's come across the board in his first weekend at this circuit. First competitive hit out. Never been to Sandown before, and he has swept the floor with him in this one. He has got a very, very handy margin of near 10 seconds to Ash Wright. who's had a good run through the field, found himself in second place, but it's going to be Adam Poole, who salutes in race 1. Car 22 has won this race, and he set the quickest lap on that couple of laps ago at a 1 minute 16.9, which is extremely competitive.
At his new favourite track.
At his new favourite track, exactly. Here comes Ash Wright, he's across the line for second. Troy Lloyd, what a drive. 15th place, all the way up to third. He will be very, very happy with that.
Well, Progressive Grids, and here comes Milano as well. Those two guys really needed to impress in this race, and I would think actually that probably Damien Milano has made up more spots than Troy Lloyd, because he came from right down the back and Troy came out of 15th. So two Holdens that have been driven very well, as they always are with those two steerers at the wheel, got to the line and made up time, made up a lot of time, both of them, for them to start to impress on the 2021 championship. But I tell you what, Adam Poole, who we know from interstate success, as soon as he decided to come down and mix it up in the Victorian Series, and arguably one of the strongest series nationally. There goes Fankhauser to the line as well. I'd suggest he might want some answers from the powers that be at the end of this one.
Probably not wrong there. He had a few gremlins in Friday practice and thought he'd sorted them all out with being on the front row, but I'll be as interested as you are to find out why they were sent back to the grid. I think you pretty much almost hit the nail on the hammer there. They'll probably build a bit too late and were sent to rear off grid, so